Hi everyone, good afternoon. We're going to go ahead and get started in about 1 minute to give folks time to log in. So right about 5:31, 5:32, we'll go ahead and get started with our webinar. Okay, perfect. We're going to go ahead and get started. So I wanted to first welcome everyone to the Understanding Your Bill webinar hosted by Clean Energy Alliance. My name is Tiffany Reynolds, and I am a Key Accounts Analyst here at CEA, which is the acronym that we go by over here. I just want to thank everyone for joining us on this Thursday evening, and we really hope you walk away with some tools tonight that you can bring home to your friends and family and share some of this really great information to help you navigate your electricity bill. First, to go over some housekeeping, today's webinar is being recorded and will be available on our YouTube. If you'd like to activate captions, please select the show captions icon at the bottom of your screen. Additionally, there is an option to participate in Q&A. If you would like to do so or ask a question at any time during the presentation, please select the Q&A icon at the bottom of your screen and type in your question. A staff member will get back to you at sometime during the presentation, and if not, we will have 10 minutes at the end of the webinar to answer any questions that may be outstanding. So on today's agenda, we're going to first talk a little bit about Clean Energy Alliance, just in case you're not familiar with what our organization does. We also are going to be talking about your electric rates and how to read your bill. We all know that that can be a really confusing process. We're also sharing some bill assistance and discount options, as well as CEA programs and offerings that are available for you to take advantage of today. And again, we're going to leave about 10 minutes at the end of this webinar for any questions that you may have. So to start, I'm not sure how familiar you are with CEA. If you're not, that's totally okay. We'll just share a brief synopsis of what we do. So we are your default power provider serving North County, San Diego. If you happen to live in the incorporated areas of Carlsbad, Del Mar, Solana Beach, Escondido, San Marcos, Oceanside, or Vista, you are likely our customer. If you happen to live in unincorporated county of any of these areas, your power provider is likely our sister agency, which is San Diego Community Power. You'll be able to tell on your bill, and we can go over that later in the presentation on where to find who your default power provider is. So CEA is in the business of buying and selling power to our customers, while SDG&E continues to deliver it to homes and businesses. We'll talk about this in the next slide. But as a result of Assembly Bill 117, customers who are enrolled in CEA are done so automatically. And that's if your local city council has elected to join what we call a community choice aggregator. It's a mouthful, but community choice aggregator is what Clean Energy Alliance is. So there's approximately 25 different community choice aggregators or power providers that are similar to us across the state of California. We serve in total about 14 million customers across the entire state. So we are pretty prevalent in the state of California. You may know someone who is served by another CCA, see, it gets confusing, somewhere across the state. So for those who are better with visual illustrations like myself, we have drawn out exactly how this process works and how we coordinate very closely with SDG&E to get the electricity delivered to your home. So CEA is responsible for step one, which is the actual purchasing of electricity from power providers. So think large solar farms, large wind farms, nuclear power plants, and other resources. We actually go out and buy the electricity from these generation sources. We put that electricity on the electric grid, where then SDG&E takes over, which is step two of this image, and they actually deliver that electricity to your home through the poles and the wires. So SDG&E is responsible for maintaining the electric grid, the electric meter at your home, and they also assist with the billing as well. As a result, you, our customer, are receiving energy at competitive rates, and you have the choice of your electricity being purchased by either CEA or SDG&E if you're located in one of those 7 cities that I had just mentioned. So again, we strongly believe in customer choice. So just as you can choose your electricity provider, you can also choose which power product you are receiving from CEA. So we offer 3 different power products with varying levels of renewable energy content. Now, this is where the clean energy in our name comes from. Customers can select our base product, which we call Clean Impact, and receive 50% renewable energy. They can select our Clean Impact Plus, our mid-tier product, which is 50% renewable and 75% carbon-free. Bonus points if you happen to know what carbon-free means. And then for those who are especially passionate about sustainability, you can also opt up to our 100% renewable energy product, which is our Green Impact Power product. As you'll notice, our default power product is our Clean Impact Plus, which is highlighted here on this slide. So folks who are automatically enrolled in CEA are receiving our Clean Impact Plus power product. So if you're a CEA customer and you haven't changed your power product, you are on our Clean Impact Plus product. You can either opt up or choose to opt down to one of the other 2 power products, depending on your preference for your household. You can see in this chart that it highlights the different price points between the 3. There is a slight premium for our Green Impact product, and then a slight decrease in the cost for our Clean Impact product as well. Now, understanding your electric rates. So rates can be very confusing for a lot of folks, including myself, who works in the energy space. So we wanted to highlight some of the important pieces of understanding your rate. The first being that historically, most customers paid a flat rate for electricity, meaning that no matter what time of the day you used electricity, the price was the same. So California has been shifting to what we call time of use rates, or TOU. And this acronym is going to come up later on in this presentation. So try and remember TOU is time of use. And what that means is that the price changes based on when you're actually using the electricity. And this is the more common rate structure that we see here in our service territory. A majority of our customers are on a TOU rate. And we'll go ahead and show you how to locate your rate schedule on your bill, so you can see if you are a flat rate or if you are a time of use. On the table to the right, you can see some naming structures that may pop up on your bill. More than likely, you are a time of use, so you'll look for the TOU DR1. Let me see if my little pen works here. This is a test. There we go. So TOU DR1 is the most common rate that we have here in CEA service territory. And if you're not on TOU DR1, you could be on DR, which is flat rate, meaning the price of your electricity stays the same no matter what time of the day you use it. A quick caveat here, SDG&E does assign your rate when you sign up for service. So if you'd like to inquire about changing your rate schedule, you will need to contact SDG&E to do so. Okay, TOU. So again, this acronym will continue to come up. So if there's one thing you take away from this webinar today, I really hope that it's this slide right here. Take a picture if you need, or it's available on our website. But this is a really easy tool you can start implementing today to decrease your electricity bill. And all it requires of you is to change some small habits around your house. So remember the acronym TOU, this is how it works. When you use electricity matters just as much as how much you use. So there are certain hours in the day where electricity can be up to 10 times the price of electricity during other times of the day. We call this on-peak hours, which is from 4 to 9 p.m. So right here, and this is every day of the week, Monday through Sunday, 4 to 9. A really easy slogan that I like to share with people is 4 to 9 is prime time. So electricity during this time period is going to be the most expensive. So we suggest, if you can, avoid using electricity at that time. Obviously, it's not possible for everyone. But again, back to shifting some small habits at home can help you lower your electricity bill if you can avoid using electricity from 4 to 9. The reason why electricity is so expensive during this time, as you can imagine, everyone is getting home from work, cooking dinner. There is just a greater demand on the grid for electricity. And so that is why the price skyrockets from 4 to 9. If you can shift your electrical usage to what we call off-peak and super off-peak, you'll be paying lower electricity prices. And I want to shout out a new change that recently occurred. So this 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. window right here, this is what we call a super off-peak. So it is the lowest price of electricity that you can get. Well, it just got updated to be 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. year round. So that's really great for everyone who is able to shift their electric usage to 10 to 2. Understandable if you cannot. But if you happen to pre-cool your home, for example, you can do that between 10 and 2 p.m. and you're going to be paying the lowest price. Other small habits that you can do at home are going to be running your dishwasher run your dishwasher before 4 p.m. or after 9 p.m. I know I personally have a delay button on my dishwasher. Maybe check yours to see if you do too, and you can delay your dishwasher to start after 9 p.m. If you can run appliances between 12 and 6 a.m., that's even better. I am not a morning person, so I will not be doing my laundry before 6 a.m., but I do like to do my laundry on the weekends. Anytime between midnight and 2 p.m. is a good time to do your laundry. So how to read your bill. This is where I think a lot of folks it gets really confusing, to be honest, reading your electricity bill. So if you have a paper bill with you, that's great. If you don't, you can access it on your myenergycenter.com, which is where your SDG&E bill is going to be available. You can log in and then select View Bill. So we're going to go over a bill example here for you all to help sort of walk through your bill and see the similar charges that we're talking about. So Clean Energy Alliance charges will typically appear on page 4 or 5 of your bill. If you want to scan the QR code, we have a sample bill, or you can just follow along on the presentation and we will have a sample bill up as well. Just an important note here is that CEA is not an extra charge on your bill, and we will show you how you can calculate and easily compare the CEA charges to what SDG&E would charge you if you happen to be their customer instead of ours. So if you have a bill, now would be the time to bring it out. If you don't, that's totally okay. I have a bill here for you. So this is the summary page, or as I like to say, the home page. If you ever take a look at your bill, this is where you'll see a summary of your current and past due charges. This is going to break down your summary between your SDG&E charges, which we call transmission and delivery. Again, they're delivering the electricity to your home. And then the CCA electric generation, that is us. And this is for the actual purchasing of the electricity that you have used at your home. So important on this page is going to be the summary of your current charges. We're going to have your billing period here, usage. So energy is measured in kilowatt hours, and that is what you're going to be billed according to. You can find your general information here. Hopefully it's your bill. If not, call SDG&E if your name's not on there or you don't recognize the name on there. So that's the summary page. We'll move on to the next page. This is kind of where maybe you go a bit cross-eyed because it's a lot of numbers, it's a lot of information. On this page, this is mostly the transmission and delivery side of your bill. We just want to highlight here what we call the electricity generation credit. You'll find this on your bill if you are a CEA customer. And this is the charge that SDG&E would have charged you had you been, had they been your power provider. So if you chose to leave CEA and go back to SDG&E, you're still getting charged for the electricity you're using at your home that they had to go and purchase. They can calculate this is what we would have charged you if you were our customer. Now, the next piece I want to go over is the community choice aggregation. Remember that that name from beginning of this presentation. This is us. So we are a community choice aggregator, and you'll see who your provider is. So if you see San Diego Community Power, they are going to be your default power provider. Maybe you live in unincorporated. So on this section of the bill, you'll find this again around page 4 or 5. If you have solar on your home, it may be a little bit further down. On this bill, one important thing to point out is your rate. That's going to be here at the bottom. This is your CEA assigned rate. So again, here's that TOU we were just talking about, comes up all the time. So this sample bill, this person is being charged based on when they use electricity. So you can see the TOU is here at the bottom. You'll also see the time period for which this bill occurs, and that's going to be from October to November. And this bill is a little bit unique. I just want to call out here that this only happens twice a year when we switch from summer to winter rates. So normally you won't be seeing this charge twice. Normally it would just be here. But in this case, what's happening is we're switching from summer rates over to winter rates. So you'll see that they were charged for on-peak summer rates at 56 kilowatt hours. And this is the total amount that they were charged for that rate. They were also charged for on-peak winter for 101 kilowatt hours. And this is the total amount. So what you really want to look for here is, again, what we talked about earlier with your time of use. On peak is the most expensive time to use electricity. If you can shift any of this usage into the off-peak or the super off-peak, you are going to be paying significantly less. So in this example, it's almost half the price if you're able to switch to off-peak. I think that's all for this section. If you have any questions about your CEA bill, our phone number is on here as well. You can give our call center a call, and they are really well trained to walk you through this step by step if you need additional help. Now we'd like to talk about some available bill assistance and discount programs that you might be able to take advantage of. So for the next few programs that we are going to talk about, customers statewide benefit from these. Whether you are a CEA customer or an SDG&E customer, it does not matter. In the San Diego area, SDG&E does administer the program. But again, if you are a CEA customer, you are still eligible for these programs. The first one is called CARE, or California Alternate Rates for Energy. And this is 30% off your monthly electricity bill. You may qualify if you're currently receiving public assistance or recently lost your job. No documentation is needed to apply, and once approved, you will receive the discount for 2 years. So after 2 years, you'll need to renew your application and make sure your eligibility is still within the income guidelines, which you can see on the right here. If you happen to fall into one of these income guidelines, please scan the QR code or call the phone number on this screen to get signed up for CARE. The next program is called FERA, or Family Electric Rate Assistance, and this is 18% off your monthly electric bill. Again, no documentation is needed. Once approved, you receive the discount for 2 years, and after 2 years, you'll renew your application. So very similar to CARE, this is called FERA, and again, here are on the right-hand side your income eligibility guidelines through May 31st, 2026. And I'll leave this up for a second in case anyone needs to scan this QR code as well. Last, for the state assistance programs, there's Medical Baseline, and this is 20% off your monthly electric bill. Medical Baseline is available for customers with qualifying medical condition or a need for certain medical devices. And a lot of times when we're out in the community, folks don't even know that their medical device is a qualifying medical device. So if you know someone who has a CPAP machine or apnea monitors or breather machines, they qualify for Medical Baseline. And again, that's 20% off of your monthly overall electricity bill, not just CEA charges on your bill, your total electricity bill. So examples of qualifying medical conditions include a compromised immune system or life-threatening illness, multiple sclerosis, and I don't want to butcher the word in the middle, so I'm not going to attempt to try that one. But please use the QR code if you know someone, or share the QR code with someone that you may know can benefit from this program. Moving on to CEA specific offerings. So these are offerings for CEA customers only. The first one is our rate relief credit, and this was approved by our board of directors. And this is a temporary rate relief credit available for Clean Impact, for folks receiving our Clean Impact product through the end of 2026. So as I mentioned earlier, all of our customers are defaulted into our Clean Impact Plus product, which is the product in the middle. If you opt down to our Clean Impact product, you're still receiving 50% renewable electricity, but you're also eligible to receive a credit, which would be applied on bill. All you need to do is call our call center or visit our website on the screen, and you can select the option to opt down to our clean impact product. So for example, if you're a residential customer, you would receive a certain per kilowatt hour credit. So let's say you use 100 kilowatt hours, times that by the 0.03871, and that's going to be your on-bill credit. In this example, it's about $13 or $14. This is available for residential and non-residential as well. So our commercial customers can also take advantage of this rate relief credit. Our PeakSmart Savers is another really great program to take advantage of today. And this utilizes, again, those time of use charts that we were speaking about earlier. So you can receive up to 30% off on the on-peak and the off-peak rates. So remember, the on-peak was prime time 4 to 9. So you can receive 30% off on that prime time if you sign up for PeakSmart Savers. So with this program, there is up to 18 days a year where Clean Energy Alliance may call what we have dubbed a PeakSmart Day, which means if you happen to use electricity on these 18 days out of the year, there is an additional adder. So you'll get a text message or an email letting you know, hey, today is a PeakSmart Day. Don't use electricity between 4 and 9. If you do, there's going to be an additional charge, and that's 18 days out of the year. For the remaining 350 plus days out of the year, you're going to be receiving 30% off of your monthly electric bill, and that is on your CEA charges only. So not your total bill, but your CEA side of your bill, that page 4 and 5 that we just looked at. We have a QR code here if you want to sign up. Another quick note, PeakSmart Days are not called on weekends or holidays, so you don't have to worry about lowering your electric use on the 4th of July. You can go crazy between 4 and 9 if you'd like, within reason though. So for those who do sign up in 2026, we're offering bill protection. It's kind of a foolproof way. If you sign up today, what this means is if you would have saved money being off of the program, so let's say you just really can't lower your electricity between 4 and 9, we will cut you a check for the difference. If you end up spending more on this program than you would have been off of it, you'll get a check in the mail from CEA reimbursing you for that difference. So it's a win-win. You're not going to be out anything, and you will definitely be saving up to 30%. So scan the QR code, again, share with your friends if you think they might be interested. We just wanted to really quick highlight our Solar Plus program. A lot of people, at least when we're out in the community, think that solar is just not an option for them. CEA is trying to fix the barrier to entry for achieving solar and battery on your home. So our Solar Plus program is solar and battery paired together on your residential home, and you can lock in a predictable energy rate with an escalator for the next 25 years. As you know, rates can sometimes be volatile, but this locks you into a 1.9% escalator for 25 years. This is important, again, for that time of use. I know it keeps coming up, but it is so important. So what will happen is your solar and your battery are going to create excess electricity, and it's going to be stored at your home for you to use later in the day between 4 and 9, again, that prime time. So you'll generate electricity, store it in the battery, and it will discharge to your home between 4 and 9. What's really great about this program is it's no credit check required, so it's available for anyone and everyone. We suggest if you are looking at solar or thinking about it, or maybe you've never thought that solar was an option for you, take a look at our website. Lastly, we just want to shout out some other helpful tools and resources that are available to you on our website. We have a really great bill comparison calculator. And this allows you to compare your CEA bill to what your bill would cost if you were a San Diego Gas and Electric customer only. As well as if you would like to upgrade to our Green Impact Champion product or opt down to our Clean Impact product. It will show you the cost of doing that change. We also have a rebates and incentive finder on our website. You type in your address, your household income, and the number of folks in your household, and it will generate a list of available rebates for you today to use. It's a really great program, and it includes local rebates that maybe your city is offering that you're not aware of, and federal and state rebates as well. If you'd like to view a list of our current electric rates, you can do that on our website. As maybe some of you don't know, we set our rates in a public setting. So our board of directors meets once a month, every Thursday, at the last Thursday of the month. And if we do any changes to our rates, it's done so in a public setting where the public can comment on the rates that we're setting. So we welcome you to join and be an active participant in your electricity bill rates. Additionally, just a shout out to our programs team. We have some really additional great programs that we didn't have time to share with you all today. There's programs for just a battery if you'd like to install a battery only. We have programs for our large businesses who are interested in installing solar and battery. There's some really great programs on there that we don't have time to share with you all today, but hopefully we can get to in a later webinar. So we recommend you take a look at that. And with that, I'm going to open it up to any questions that we may have in the chat.
Thanks, Tiffany.
I don't think I see any.
Can you hear me, Tiffany?
Yeah, I can hear you.
There is one that we did answer already in the chat, but I think it might be good for us to answer it live as well. The question is, where would I see if I am part of the Clean Impact or Clean Impact Plus option? And I think maybe if we can go back to the slide of our CCA
sure.
bill.
It's a great question. We'll go back to, okay, so you'll be able to tell which power product you are on your CCA charges, and you're going to see that right here. So the Clean Impact Plus product has an adder of 0.001 cent per kilowatt hour. If you're a Green Impact, you are going to see a Green Impact here. And if you aren't, if you've opted down to our Clean Impact product, you won't see this additional line item on your bill. So if you look at your bill and you see Clean Impact Plus, you're on our mid-tier product.
We do have another question asking, is it cheaper to be on CEA or SDG&E for generation for a TOU plan?
Yeah, that's also a really great question. And it depends, as most things in electricity do. I hate to say that answer, but it does depend on the rate you're on. It's going to depend on how much you use. If you would like, you can contact CEA, our emails here at the end, and we can do a comparison for you between what your bill would be with SDG&E compared to CEA. But the answer is it would depend.
And Tiffany, I'll just jump in and also add that our bill comparison tool is a good option for customers who want to see how their bill would compare against SDG&E or the other energy options that we offer.
Yes, thank you, Karen. The bill comparison tool is also a fabulous tool. If you don't want to call in and type in your information directly on our website, it's going to give you the comparison between the 3 power products that we offer and SDG&E. Okay, with that, I don't see any additional questions, but I will leave this slide up for a bit. This is our contact us for our call center, as well as our Ask CEA email if you prefer to chat with someone via email. So thank you everyone for attending our webinar today. There will be a survey being sent out to participants. We hope you are able to fill out the survey for feedback, as this is our first webinar we've ever done. We're looking for topics that we can speak on in the future that you might be interested in, as well as any feedback you have. So please fill out the survey if you're available. And we thank you all for attending our webinar tonight.